Faces Unmasked is a podcast of candid conversations that explore the intricate layers of our unique identities, worth, and value. I'm Lorin.
I'm Paige.
I'm Kim. Let's unmask.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to True Faces Unmasked, right? That is the name of our show.
That's the name of our show.
That is the name of our show.
That's the name of it.
True Faces Unmasked, everyone. How is everyone? We hope you're having an amazing day. Thank you for hopping on with us. Your time is very important to us, so that's why we just are so glad that you're on, so we can fill your cups and help you learn maybe how to fill your own cup as well today. So we're gonna.
That was cute. Really good. Yeah. So we're gonna continue. We started our first series. So this is episode number 3, right? Yeah. We started our first series last time with talking about lies that the enemy has told us and then truths that the Lord says about us. So essentially those things that we've heard throughout our lives, whether from other people or in our own mind or whatever, that we've taken on as truth but isn't truth. It's lies that hold us back, right?
100%.
Right. And so we're going to continue that series today. And Lauren's going to really talk and get a little vulnerable.
Ooh,
yeah.
I love that
That's
word.
the whole point of the True Faces, right?
Vulnerable.
We're taking off the masks. We're being very real.
Yeah, complete vulnerability. I thought it was really funny because Mary Kay Ash, brilliant woman, she once said that a woman who will tell you her age will tell you anything. And someone once said that at a conference that I was at, and immediately I was like, I will tell you anything.
I think the same thing. I'm like, hello, I'm Kim, I'm 40. What do you want to know?
Yeah.
When I can remember how old I am and I don't have to do math about it.
Oh my gosh.
33. Yeah, I'm 33 and I will tell you anything.
Amazing.
I'm like,
I think vulnerability is a big gift too, and it's very rare. So I'm glad that we do give that side, because she was a very strong lady. She had to protect herself at the time. I mean, if any of you don't know Mary Kay Ash, you can Google her, but she was a woman in 1963 that started her own business, literally her own business. So she was a strong woman. So I think now it's almost, there's a lot of strong women in this world. We just don't know our powers because we don't allow ourselves to get vulnerable like this and then understand ourselves to then take those powers out like she did. So maybe that's a new perspective. But Lauren, you want to start and give us your lies that then you turned into truths?
Yes. So a lie number 1. This was a big one for me because I even have a sweatshirt that says the opposite of this one. Like I have to wear it.
That's amazing.
And it's the lie is I am not enough. I feel like that's one that a lot of people can relate with. It's kind of a broad one. I'm not enough. But specifically, I've taken on a lot of hats, the last year and a half, 2 years, 4 years. First it was, I just had a job. I'm a wife, job and wife. Okay, cool. And then I can handle that. Then I become a mom. Don't have the job anymore, but I'm a mom and a wife and a housekeeper. That was a lot. And then flash forward to having another daughter. So now I'm a wife, housekeeper, and mom of 2. And then I start my own business. And then then I start my own business. All the things plus running my own business. And it's a lot. It's a lot. And so it got to a point where I'm like, I can't do all of this. I am not enough. My kids are screaming. They need this. They need that. They need this. They need that. My husband still needs me. I need to do the dishes. I haven't done anything with my business in the last few days. And it's a lot. So, and then whenever I try to do it all, you know what happens.
Yeah.
When you try to do it all, it's, you're just on the floor weeping. I'm not good enough.
I was about to ask, I'm like, it may be very vulnerable, but could you explain maybe what happens when you do hit that point? And I mean, it's hard to share.
There's a lot of screaming.
Yeah. Because I'm like, maybe people, there are people on here I know and myself where it's like I had to almost become okay with, I know I hit my point. I spiraled. I had my moment, but then I needed to come back from it because I didn't die. I felt like I was dying, but I didn't die. So I wanted I wanted to hear your perspective of, okay, I feel like I'm needed everywhere else. I don't even know what I need of myself anymore because there's so much I need. And so where are you at now? Where does the breaking point hit and what happens?
There's a lot of screaming. Mm-hmm. Not saying that is the ideal. I'm just saying that's what happens with me. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of screaming. There's a lot of crying. Mm-hmm. There is just that realization, like, I pour out and I pour out and I pour out and I pour out and nobody's pouring back into me. Although that's not actually true. If I could just open up with the Father and he's right there. So I'm like, I have this realization. I'm like, oh, like, I totally do have someone to fill my cup. Yeah. But, it's just not always that easy to keep that right at the front of your mind. Yeah. Until you actually start practicing that over and over and over.
Can I just add something in?
Go for it.
To that. I think one of the biggest reasons why we're called to community, even in Scripture, is because sometimes we need other people to go through stuff with us. Mm-hmm. Oh, and we need to not be the only one carrying the burden on the earth.
Bearing one another's burdens. Yeah.
Right. So I am very much an advocate of personal relationship with the Lord, like seek Yeshua, seek the Father, seek Holy Spirit, those things. But there's a reason it's called the body of Christ, right? Mm-hmm. In your body, not one part does all of the lifting, mm-hmm. right?
Yeah.
Even when you're lifting a super heavy weight, like you're a power lifter, your pinky toe is still bearing some of that burden. You know what I mean? And there are all these different parts that are working. And so I just want to put it out there. Like, you don't have to then put all of the responsibility on yourself for not only bearing the burden, but then, well, if I need somebody to help me, then that's on me too. You know what I mean? Like,
right. I do the same thing. Like, I will, for some reason in my brain, it's like, if I can't do it all, then what's the point? Mm-hmm. Like, my husband's home and he's like, Lorin, if you need help with anything, just tell me. I'm like, no, because I need to be able to know how to do it when you're not here.
Wow. That's powerful.
So I will do everything, even when he is home, just because I have to prove somehow that I can do everything. And then when I can't do everything, I'm mad about it.
Where do you think that comes from? Because I relate so much. Like,
I do too, yeah.
You know how they say personalities, there's like a fatal flaw? Mm-hmm. Okay, people have really enjoyed trying to tell me what my fatal flaw is, which is really nice. But I will tell you, I might be independent to a fault.
I'm trying to give you a heart, and then I tip this bad boy over.
You know what I mean? And it is like, no, I can do it. No, I can do it.
Mm-hmm. It is a default. Is that what you're saying?
As it is a fault.
Oh,
it's a fault.
I feel like in that way, like, yes, it's a fault, but it's almost a default of my response to when someone is offering help. And then I almost default to the enemy saying, no, I can do it myself. I'm fine. I can do it myself. And then that's when I spiral because I can't. And there's the Lord right there and someone else trying to offer it. But so what was your positive for that?
Well, it's kind of I'm on the nose a little bit, but I am enough. Okay.
Yes, you are enough. Say it to the camera, in everyone's eyes, for our listeners.
I am enough. I know, right? How amazing is that?
You are enough.
Because I am enough to be who God created me to be. Did he create me to be a housekeeper? Maybe not. Maybe I need a housekeeper, and I'm okay with that.
Boom.
But
maybe I need a housekeeper. If Jason's listening, Jason, I think maybe I need a housekeeper.
Hey, if I can't keep up with family and house and business, maybe that's because I wasn't created to be a housekeeper. Well, I am enough for what I was created to be.
Yes.
And for all the things that I'm not enough for, while I still do have to wear the hat of housekeeper for now, the Lord is enough when I am not.
That's good.
So, anyway.
I love that. No, thank you for sharing that.
I am a child of God. I'm a freaking princess. And, that has a whole story behind it, that I'm a freaking princess. So you're going to hear me say it a lot, but maybe eventually we'll get around to me actually telling the story sometime. But
I love it.
I think it's a great story.
It's
It
a
is
great
an
story.
amazing story.
Just a story for another time.
Yeah.
Because I've got several lies that I've believed.
We
So
definitely
this is
want to hit all those
we
for
wanna hit
sure.
these. Okay, so we'll just move on. I'm forgetful. I am thoughtless. Not thoughtful. I'm forgetful. Those kind of have two different things. So like I am thoughtless, kind of has a different meaning, like it's here, being thoughtless here.
Yeah.
But I think of it more like I'm forgetful. Like I want to be thoughtful, but I can't be because I am forgetful. So it kind of affects here and here,
Sure.
head and heart. Because I've got mom brain, y'all. I've still got mom brain. And so I'm constantly going up and down the stairs in my house. And then when I get to the top or the bottom, I immediately remember something I forgot on the other side.
Is it a thing to have mom brain
Constant.
with not being a mom?
I don't know. Maybe.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking because I do the same thing, but I have dogs, so I'm like, it's my dog mom brain.
Your dog mom brain. You care for others. You care for others.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm forgetful. And the other side of that is like I can remember. It might be something that I have to practice. I might have to take a pause, but I can remember. Have patience in my process. Ooh, y'all, I hadn't read this in a while, so I'm like, this is like real good. Okay, have patience in my process. Write things down.
Yes.
That was kind of the thing. It's like, oh, I just need to write things down, but have patience in my process.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord wrote that, y'all. I don't remember writing that.
Isn't that
It's my
incredible
handwriting,
too? That seriously, sometimes he'll put thoughts or words into our mouths or in our brains that we don't even realize, and then here we are live, and you're
There
like,
we-
whoa, those are my words. But really,
Smart, y'all.
could you read that again? That positive of the negative.
So when I say I'm forgetful, I just need to remember to have patience in my process. That's basically what it boils down to. Have patience in your process. Because I do have mom brain, and it's a real thing.
Have you
It's
worked
a real
on
thing.
how you want to try to implement patience in your day to day? So then you can, because I mean, we're not patient. So okay, let me back up. I get so excited when I have thoughts in my head that I just whoop. But so patience is a skill. And you cannot master it unless we practice it, right? And so I say this from my own perspective because I've had to practice patience by doing things that require patience. Does this make sense? So have you tested that out yet? Are you open to ideas? Kind of where are you out
Always
there?
open to ideas. Because I am at this point where it's like I'm trying to teach my youngest daughter patience. Anyway, so
How
it was
old is
so
she?
funny. She's 2.
Oh,
yeah, she's 2. Y'all. Okay. So it was funny. Yesterday, I was like, have patience, because she'd ask for something and then immediately, like in less than 5 seconds, is like demanding, like, why is it not in my hands?
Yep.
Like I am making it right now. She's demanding it now. So I'm like, have patience. But I'm starting to get worked up. And then my husband comes up to me and says, have patience.
Oh.
Have patience. Have patience. And I'm like,
Yep. Isn't that nice though to have that little word in your? So for like example, I've been practicing patience with meditation. Oh gosh, it's been a journey, but little bits of time and just finding that time. Like even I don't remember earlier this week, I had gotten through the day and I could feel myself getting super anxious, and I couldn't control it. I was like, I just can't do it. I'm gonna lose it, and I lost it. The tears came out, like all the darkness, it was there. And then I just needed to remember, okay, let's just go lay down on the bed, turn on my meditation app. I even have an app that helps me with music and whatnot, but that's helped me tremendously. So I mean, that's one way. As hard, it seems so easy to say, okay, I'm going to meditate for a minute.
oh yeah. It's
But if
when
you-
you're in the moment of
But
the meltdown, it's,
but so just
it takes
finding
practice
those
to remember.
times when, for example, maybe it's meditation, maybe it's something else, but whatever your thing is to slow you down, just you gotta make time for that. It's like the non-negotiables, And so it's so weird because in our society today, what are we taught? Go, 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 go. Your worth is only based on how much you can do and how much you can do in that one day and that one time and how many people you can see and how many people you can text and how fast can you go. That is what our society is. But that's not how we find our purpose and can impact others, because we have
That's probably
to
why I feel
slow
so
down.
forgetful, because like I can't remember to do all that because I wasn't made to do all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to have patience in my process.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
You know
yes.
how they say, if you want to, if you ask the Lord to help you with patience, then He'll give you all kinds of things that test your patience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then you'll really feel out of control.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's an interesting thing because patience is a fruit of the Spirit,
Mm.
right?
It
So
is.
you're talking about it being a skill, but I'll talk about it being a fruit. And so
This
it
is why we're friends, guys. This is why we're friends.
I just think that sometimes, like, and you're talking about the meditation, like, if you can really, like, zoom it out, like, step back into the Lord, whatever it is you need to do. This is how I visualize it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I would call it meditation, but I would take a deep breath and I would, as I'm breathing in, I would visualize myself stepping back into the Father, like against his chest. And then
I just got chills.
like
That's a
get
beautiful
the
picture.
broad view. And when you can like zoom out those things that make you really impatient or are testing your patience, like you get such perspective and it doesn't feel so big anymore. And I think that is that's kind of that feeling of, oh, that's how it's a fruit of the Spirit. You know what I mean?
Wow.
This is what happens when you step into his presence, into him. You can get kind of that broad view, and then it can, that chaos that's like buzzing everywhere just kind of falls a little silent.
I love that. Okay, something I've noticed when I am feeling impatient and I'm starting to spiral is because I'm trying to hone in on focus. I'm trying to like pinpoint a focus on one thing that will calm me down instead of zooming out.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe try it and report back.
Yeah.
I will
This
try
is
and
not
report back.
Hard like facts. Like this is what you should do. We figured out that we have not figured any of this out.
Yeah, no, because
This is totally conversation and ideas, and I will try that and report back.
that is why you gotta find, and I love that you pointed out that when the Lord when you pray for patience, He won't give you patience. He will give you what will test your patience.
I feel like somehow this forgetfulness has gone down to my patience one, because this is a different point on my list. We've come, so we already have answered this one. We skipped a little bit. But yeah, so there's just a lot of times I feel very forgetful. But I'm in a process. I'm in a process. Okay, next one. I can't do anything right.
Oh, that was gonna bring tears in my eyes.
No matter how hard I try and try and try, I can't do it right.
Can I ask you a question?
I love questions.
Is that in your eyes you don't do it right? Is that in everyone else's eyes you don't do it right? Is that in the Lord's eyes you don't do it right? Like, what is it that you feel like in that lie? I
feel like it's one, it's my eyes partially, because I hold myself to a very high standard. Yeah, very high standard. But also when I'm trying to do things for my family and things get pointed out where I'm like, I'm trying, I'm sorry, it wasn't what you were expecting, but this is me and this is what you're going to get. So like things just being pointed out that, oh, you tried, but it wasn't quite, up to my par. So
it's
not that anyone's actually said it like that, but you know, when you have but it's what I feel.
Yeah. I get that, because I feel like that too. Like I can't do anything right, but I like put other people's judgment on myself when they may not even be doing it, which is a dangerous thing.
Oh, yes.
Just don't do it. Here's my best advice. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
And that's amazing, because I think that's the enemy.
Oh,
He
for sure.
will,
For sure.
and because that's our own voices, and so you got the Lord's voice, you got the enemy's voice, and you got your own voice. So now it's distinguishing. Okay, am I putting this lie on someone else to believe that about me when I don't even know if that's what they believe about me? Like, for example, have you guys ever heard the example of mindset when you're like, oh, that girl's looking at me, she must be judging me, she must think I'm this or this or this. And really, she could be looking at you and thinking, wow, she looks so put together and so cute. Like, I wish I was more like her. You know, like there's so many different perspectives. And so I'm glad that you asked that, because I almost think it's like an enemy the enemy in your head, but it's almost like the enemy has trained your thoughts to make now you feel that way. Because I've felt that with a lot of the lies I've said, to the point where my voice says it in my own head because the enemy's taught me that for so long and I've allowed that. So now here we are. What's the positives?
The positive is, what is it? The truth. Y'all, I seriously haven't read this in a while. I don't have to be perfect. I am capable. I am good. Y'all, I'm an Enneagram number 1, and it's like one of the best things you can tell someone who is that.
You are
Enneagram.
good.
You're
You're good.
good?
You're good.
You are good. If you're
I like being
Enneagram
good.
1, you are good.
You're good. Okay, I
You're
like being
good.
told I'm good. Which is so
You're
funny
good.
because I don't think I knew that when I wrote this. Like, because I found this really cute, like, graphic design of all the different Enneagram numbers. And one of it was about number 1. And that's one of my numbers. And it said, you are good. And it just like,
Thank you. Like a warm
thank
hug.
you. I needed
Like,
to
oh,
hear
I
that.
needed that.
I don't even think I knew that when I wrote this. I am good.
You needed it though.
I needed it.
And guess what? That's the truth. Where does the truth come from?
The Father.
The Father. And so would he know what to say to you?
He would know exactly what to say to me.
To really,
that's
like,
what I
hit-
wrote. Good.
You're good.
And I'm sure he is, has that part of his personality too. So every once in a while I'll be like, you're good.
God is good.
He's good.
I
Love it. So I am capable. And I don't have to be perfect. So I'm not going to do everything right. What was that?
Un momento, we need to giggle. All right, we're good.
Okay. Y'all have no idea what's going on. We should have been way more put together with that. But
No, okay. I'll tell you what happened. My father has an office 4 offices down, 4 down the hallway, and he just blew his nose real loud. And I was
That's why I
was
giggle.
like, I can hear
Figure.
that through the headphones. That's coming through the mics.
Me too. And I blow my nose that loud, so I was like, oh, I feel that. So you guys want to, sorry, this is so off topic, but I got to giggle about it because it's something that made me so embarrassed for so long. But like when I was younger, people that were really close to me would make fun of me blowing my nose and say it sounded like a horn. And so it sounded like I should play that in the band, like, like literally, y'all. So now I just have to laugh when I blow my nose because like my boyfriend loves me
because it sounds adorable.
so much and he's never said a word about it. And I love that. Like, sorry,
Funny.
but back on track.
No.
What's our next lie that we are going to bring about to the positives?
I'm ridiculous.
Oh.
And okay. I was about to say I'm ridiculous. I was about to like profess that about myself right now. That's like a hard one because I say that to myself all the time. So that one is like ingrained in me.
Where'd that one come from?
I'm ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, because my silly brain, I just do silly things sometimes. Like I do silly things. I say silly things. I do things in a way that I'm like, why did I think of doing it that way? When this way would have been so much easier. Like, why didn't I think of that? And it's like I'm like working really hard to do something, and Mitchell comes along and just magic fingers does it. And I'm like, I don't understand. I don't know. But anyway, just I'm ridiculous. And you know what my truth to that is? I'm good.
Oh, yes. You are good. You are good.
Oh my goodness. I literally, like, I'm about to say it right now because I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so ridiculous. Like
No.
I'm just saying, like, that's how ingrained it is in me. And like, I'm about to say it like right now.
That's interesting. Okay, I have to tell you what I'm thinking about this. Okay, so the root word of ridiculous is ridicule, right?
Mhm.
So if you are ridiculing someone, you are criticizing something about them in a negative way. Wouldn't you agree? Kind of a definition of that word. However, the way that you described it sounded to me like taking a journey to a destination, which is not ridiculous and not worthy of ridicule.
So maybe I'm using the wrong word.
So maybe you've adopted a word that is negative, like would bring on ridicule, but really you have a different way of doing things and it's okay. And there's fun along it, because you also use the word silly, which is not the same as ridicule,
True.
right? And it doesn't hold such a negative connotation, but I don't think it always has to be a negative thing to not do the most efficient thing or to be silly and fun along the way. I'm actually someone who struggles with fun. Like, I don't know how to have fun.
Me too.
And I always have fun when I'm with you. So it's like,
I know, but it's because you bring it.
Yeah.
oh,
But here's the thing is some people like me really need someone around them who knows how to be silly, because I get stuck in a rut where I don't really get it. I used to know as a kid, I took myself seriously for so long and wanted to prove to everyone like how serious I am or how
like
legitimate I am, that I have forgotten how to have fun along the way. And so I actually see that as a really like valuable thing in you, but I don't see it as you being ridiculous. I see it as you enjoying the process, as you being silly along the way, as you finding fun in things. I'm not trying to be your truth column, but I'm just saying, like, I know that you could look at it one way as a really negative thing, and to me, I see like such a positive thing in how you enjoy things like that.
Me too. I like that you brought that perspective.
I like that. Thank you.
Yeah, 100%, because I'm the same way, Kim.
I'm
like
fun, y'all.
Like
You are fun.
You are fun. Like literally, and we need people,
I
because
think I wrote that down.
I'm the exact same way. Like the amount of times that I'm reminded, like, hey, remember to enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy because I've felt like, and it's more negatives so remember silly, and that's why I even wrote it down. Silly equals enjoyment. Because when we enjoy things, we are more silly. And I get so serious within myself to where I have to be I feel like I have to be perfect so I don't come off dumb or I don't come off stupid. Because you know what I've been called my whole life? The dumb blonde, you know? And then have people say, oh, but you're not even a real blonde. I'm like, just keep kicking me while I'm down, people. So silly is enjoyment. And we need people like that in our lives, because I will forget. And then I will fall into that darkness. And so like you, shout out to my bestie Colette. She keeps me so fun and so silly and reminds me just the enjoyment of life all the time. And it's so important. It's so important. So I'm so glad that you are good. You are good.
I'm good. I'm fun.
You are so fun. Why are your girls so fun? I mean, they learned from the best.
That's true. And they're with me all day.
Yeah.
So if you wonder why they're as amazing as they are. Anyway. Okay. Oh, shoot. Lorin. Dang.
I'm excited.
There is no grace for me.
That hurt me. That hurt me for you.
There is no grace for me. I have to do things right. If I don't do it right, there's no grace. I have to do it right.
Wow.
Okay. But God's grace is sufficient. If no one else is going to give me grace, God's grace is sufficient. Yeah. So there's a lot of people out there who will not give you grace. But there is grace. It just may not be amongst, not these people. I don't mean that in
the world.
In the world, you know.
There is a lot of.
There's a lot of no forgiveness. Like, there's none. But God's grace is sufficient. That's the truth.
Have you seen, do you see God's grace more now that you've pointed that out for yourself? Do you see it, or do you try to recognize it more, find ways you see grace now in your life?
If I would have remembered that I had this experience, maybe.
So it's something you could think of then, for sure.
I need to pull this out and remember.
Yeah.
See, so, there's that line of I'm forgetful that keeps coming up. And but I'm in a process.
You are.
I'm in a process. So it takes practice to remember some of these things.
And I am glad that you brought up the word grace because it just reminds me back to the meditation and stuff. So I was practicing one day with my boyfriend. Love him. He really tried one day. We didn't do it, but I did it. But he really was on board with it. And I was explaining the whole meditation process to him that I learned from my coach. And then one of our dogs, it's our pit bull that's like all love. Like she's a lover. And he comes over and he goes, "You are grace, Izzy. You are grace." And so now that's what we say around my house. Like when I need to remember grace, I look at her and I'm like, "You are grace, Izzy." Isn't it so silly? Like, but it really helps because I'm like, wow, I'm being so mean to myself in this moment. Like I'm telling myself the dishes aren't done, the laundry's all over the place, your room's a mess, and you haven't done anything with your business, and you need to work out. And then I just see her and I'm like, "You are grace. I need grace. Like I gotta go just take a moment." And so even though maybe you forgot about it, you are in that process. So it's like just remembering that. And I guarantee your reticular activating system, your RAS. Have you heard about that?
No.
The reticular activating system is literally our bodies, and I've studied it so much. That's why I like talking about it. But it's if you have something at the forefront of your mind, like the word grace, or knowing, hey, we talked about this. Now I want to see if I can find grace. You will start seeing things like, so for example, if you buy a yellow car, you're going to start seeing yellow cars all over the place. Like it's those kind of things. So
yes, I have noticed that before.
I'm excited to hear your journey through that too, because we're going to be talking about it, guys.
It's what we do. It's what we do. Okay. The next few ones are geared towards me as a business owner. And one is, I guess this one totally could be a business as well as personal, as well as I'm bad with finances. And
wow,
I am capable of learning. That's the truth. Am I perfect at it? No. Do I have a lot to learn? Yes. So I'm not going to say it's okay. Hear me when I'm saying, like, maybe this isn't a lie. It is kind of a lie, but I have the capability of, like, it's an identity that I'm taking on.
Yes, 100%.
So it's not necessarily like it's a lie. I'm like, okay, because I'm not great with finances. I wouldn't say it's a lie. But what it is an identity that I was holding on to.
Wow.
Claiming it as, oh, that's just who I am.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's totally different. So it was a false identity that I was holding on to. So, but the truth is I'm capable of learning, and that I am good with money. I'm learning.
And you are good with it because you're learning. And you'll just keep getting better at it. Wow, I'm so glad you brought that up. That's what I've been going through a lot lately as well. And we have to remind ourselves. So if any of you on here maybe are like, yeah, I resonate with that. Like I'm bad with my finances. Maybe you were never taught. Maybe you were just never taught. Actually, and it's in society today too. We aren't taught to write checks, to finance, to save. And I almost learned that too because I've taken on this identity of I'm bad with finances and maybe there's just no fixing me. Maybe I'm just bad at it. And that's not true because we can learn. And there are the tools, and we just got to have people who fill our cups to say, yes, you are smart. You can figure this out. Like there's a lot of women in our environment right now that have done it and are very successful now. And so I'm so glad you pointed that out because it is a belief barrier that you have to break, because that is something that you take your identity on. And I know I did too, because usually it's rooted in you were never taught. So then it's been rooted in you for so long, And so I'm really glad that you pointed that out because you are smart, you are capable of learning, and you are on the path, correct? So you are learning, and I'm so excited. I'm excited to see our bank accounts grow because we all get so good at our finances.
There we go. Because we just learned so much. I'm not business-minded. That's my other one. I'm not business-minded. But I am business-minded. I am a businesswoman. I am a businesswoman.
Yes.
So I am business-minded because I am a businesswoman. I am learning. It always comes back to I am learning. I am capable. I am in a process. I can do it and I will do it.
It's good.
So a lot of those lies that we believe about ourselves are, like I said, may not necessarily be a lie at this point in your life, but it's an identity that you're claiming. And it doesn't have to be the truth.
Right.
Yeah. So that's a different perspective on that. Okay, now we are.
Wow, that was really good. Sorry, I got to write down these notes so I don't forget. But I do just want to pinpoint what I'm writing down because you just said too, and I want to quote the Lorin princess said, sometimes we claim an identity that isn't necessarily a truth.
Mhm.
I really just wanted to point that out because it's so true. Sometimes we claim an identity that isn't the truth. So remember that too when you go through your positives and negatives and you're creating these for yourself. Are you claiming something that is something you've known and you've identified with but isn't necessarily true? So then how can you change that?
Yes. Okay, so we kind of like jumped forward and reversed, and now we're back to I am not a patient parent. Back to the whole patience thing. But the truth is I love my girls, and I'm learning.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just as simple as that.
That's good. And you were made for this.
I was made for this. I was made to be these girls' mom.
You were. It's
You
innate.
were.
It is like at the core of who you are.
Mhm.
You were made. It was an intentional thing for you to be the parent to these girls.
So I am capable.
You are absolutely capable. That doesn't mean you're not learning.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you're perfect, but you are absolutely built for this.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Shoot, dang. Girl.
I like the word innate too. That is such a powerful word. And so is the definition of innate what you said it was the meaning of, what did you explain it as?
I don't know if I explained it. I would say it's something that is, it is at the core of your being.
That's what you had said. So innateness is the core, pretty
Kind of,
much.
yeah, like it's built in. I'm like the dictionary today, you guys.
I love it. I love it because, yeah, I mean, that's another. This is about Lauren, so I keep using I'm a big example person, so I use examples to explain to myself. But I mean, growing up, I was never in the spelling bee. Couldn't spell. Like, did not do the vocabulary, all those kind of things, definitions. I was always so bad at it. So now I make a point, and maybe it's because it comes from that, like we talked about, we claim this identity that isn't true about ourselves. And I've claimed for the longest time that I'm just not smart. And so I didn't really try to learn how to spell or learn definitions of things because I just thought that the grades I got defined me, and that's just who I was. And Paige, you're just not the smartest, but you're really pretty. Like, it's those things. And so I'm so glad that you brought up that word innate, because it really is us at our core. So, and you get to decide who that is. Like we're talking about now with your positives, like we get to decide who that is. Isn't that so cool? Like, I love it.
Ultimately, the Lord decides who we are, but we get to choose to listen to it or not.
Thank you. Yes.
So I saw where you were coming from with that. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
That's good.
I'm so glad you guys always remind me about the Lord too. That's why we're such a good friend group, because we always bring the Lord into it as well. And I think that's so important.
Yeah, whenever he is a part of it, like, it's kind of impossible to not bring him up.
Yeah.
I love that. I love it. You know. Okay. I am not an attentive wife. That one hurts sometimes.
That one does hurt sometimes.
But it all goes back to I'm learning and I'm adjusting. I love my husband. He's amazing. Okay.
Shout out Mitchell.
And I'm adjusting my habits. Am I a perfect wife? No. But I'm adjusting my habits. I am learning. I feel like it all goes back to learning on all of these. I'm learning what he needs, and I will not give up.
Oh,
So that's my promise to you, babe. I will not give up.
I'm gonna cry. Oh, that's so powerful. I just got so many chills just from you reading that. Wow.
I feel like I'm
That's so good.
No, that's so good, because that's powerful that you. So could you read your negative again, just so I don't misspeak it?
I am not an attentive wife.
Attentive. So what do you mean by
Attentive?
What do you mean by you're like when you feel that you're not attentive? What does that look like?
Being very absorbed into myself. Like I'm just trying to get through the day. I'm just trying to do this, complete my tasks, this, that. It's more like I'm just trying to get through the day.
Wow.
And then by the time I'm through the day, I'll go to bed.
Yeah. No, 100%. I think
it's
that
a very
yeah.
real thing.
It's a very real thing.
I think that's why I'm so mind blown right now, because I'm like, I think I do this and I don't even realize that's, or maybe I didn't see it as a negative because I give so much that I was like, oh, that's not a negative, that I'm, what was the word?
Attentive.
Attentive. Thank you. See, I'm learning. Attentive. But because it's like in my mind, if I'm attentive to myself, that's a good thing for me. But it was like almost with yours, you looked at it as a negative because you felt like you were taking away from him and what you could give to them, like your family and your husband. But the fact that then you claimed, no, I'm doing my best. I am working on this and I'm not going to give up. I am not going to give up. That's so powerful.
Yeah. Because if I give up, then I wouldn't be an attentive wife.
Yeah.
And then we wowould have a whole lot more problems. And so it's the importance of recognizing it and not giving up.
100%. I was just going to say the awareness of it is like such a huge piece. Like simply being aware, that's what then draws the attention to it, right? Not being an attentive wife, then you're drawing attention to that relationship. And then sometimes just that awareness
Yeah.
is what shifts things.
Oh, yeah.
So it's really good.
I love that.
Very self-aware.
Yes.
I feel like I'm getting more self-aware.
You're learning and you're
I'm
on the
learning.
path.
I know. What was it? I heard this statistic. Oh, no, I shouldn't have brought it up because I can't remember what the number was. But the percentage of people who are not actually self-aware is astounding.
Let's look it up. See if
It's
we can find
like, it's high. And there are two types of self-awareness. There is internal self-awareness and external self-awareness. So the awareness that you have of within yourself, but also the awareness of the effect you have on other people. So there's two different types of awareness. And I feel like it was ingrained in me to be aware of other people so much that I'm not aware of myself.
Wow, that's powerful. That's very powerful.
Boom, I just thought of that
Yeah,
just now.
and I was
I'm
like
having like a, oh my goodness.
And I'm asking,
Having a
so
moment.
I did, guys, you could Google anything you needed to know, by the way. I know
In
it's told.
case you didn't know.
I just got to point that out because I always roll my eyes when I want to ask questions and someone's like, go look at Google. I'm like, I didn't ask to go look at Google. I asked you what the question was. But and then I go do it. And so I'm learning now that I can find these things out myself. And so when you said that, automatically all I did was Google self-awareness percentage. This is how easy it is to find out these numbers too, though. That's the thing, though, because I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, I love to know these stats.
What's
but
the number?
Thank you. 95% of people claim to be self-aware.
Oh.
So 95% claim to be self-aware, but research shows only 10 to 15% actually fit the criteria of self-awareness.
I wonder what the criteria is. And how unrealistic, and I say that from a perspective of thinking I'm probably part of the 85%.
This is something you could...
Well, 85% of people would be right there with you.
And there's a lot of studies on it, like Harvard Business, University of Arkansas. So that's something maybe we could get into another time. But
That's fun.
that's really... I'm glad that you pointed that out because it is so true that a lot of us probably feel self-aware, but are we really? What's the criteria? What makes you self-aware? You know, that's... Boom. Topic.
That's so funny. You could put with that emotional intelligence,
Self-awareness.
Emotion.
Make sure if you guys want to hear us
what?
talk about certain things, you're commenting and letting us know. So right now we're adding to the list self-awareness and emotional intelligence, correct? So if you guys want to hear us talk about anything specific, comment. Let us know.
Yeah.
Do that.
Follow us on social. Follow us on YouTube. Plug.
Okay. Last one. This one kind of hits deep, y'all. Like recently. Okay.
Okay.
People don't want to spend more time with me. So, yeah. Another lie that kind of goes along with that is people are kind of like indifferent about me. They don't hate me. They don't like love me. They don't adore me. But they're not like, they don't hate me. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh my goodness, everybody hates me. Like, I'm not, which if you're one of those people, don't believe that. Okay. Nobody hates you. And I mean that in like the most loving way possible. Because I don't hate you. I don't know who you are, but I don't hate you. But I know a lot of people feel that way. It's like, oh, I'm like, oh, so I'm like, oh, people don't hate me. So I'm like, I don't think there's a problem. Like, oh, I don't believe people hate me. But it's like, I think people are indifferent about me. People like could take me or leave me. And then once they spend time with me, it's like, okay, like I've seen what you have to offer and we're good.
I get that. I also tend to think, I think about you, Lorin, and the context in which I know you is through our Mary Kay sisterhood, I would say, which is my favorite part of Mary Kay is like that camaraderie and sisterhood, right? And I can't imagine anyone thinking that of you because from the moment you showed up, you were part of the group. You were like an important piece to every meeting and like we listen to what you have to say.
Which is weird, y'all. When I start opening my mouth, everybody looks at me and I'm like, what is going on?
It's a beautiful thing.
Like, that's like no joke. Like everyone turns to look at me and I'm like,
I know. I say this though to say that I know it feels like that sometimes. And I've also gone through a lot of that in my life. But I've also gone through the times of finding the place I do fit and going, oh, that's what it feels like. And it's like the finding your tribe kind of thing. You know what I mean? And it is going to feel crappy.
yeah,
It's going to feel crappy until you find those people. And then you go, oh,
right.
This is what everybody's been experiencing.
Right. Actually feeling valued
Yeah.
by the people that you spend your time with is huge.
Yeah.
So I've had a long time where I feel like my friends haven't truly valued me. As in they didn't see value in spending time with me. They're like, oh, I would actually like benefit in my life if I spent time with you.
Yeah.
So they could take me or leave me.
And that hurts.
Big time. So anyway, the opposite side of that is I am valuable. I am valued. People do want to spend more time with me. People do like me. Apparently.
People do like you, Lorin. I can attest to this.
Yeah.
I'm very observant. I'm somebody who really likes to just sit back and watch and like read a room. People like you.
Yeah.
And
they do want to be around you.
And they do want to be around you.
And I value you like dearly. I value you, and I know there's other people that have expressed the value in you. I've heard it.
And I'm always taken aback when it actually happens. Whenever people like genuinely express, they're like showing that value. They're like, I see value like in you. And I'm just like, you see it?
Can I ask you
Like
to do something?
What like and just like you see it. Like how do you see it? Like what am I doing that makes you see it? Anyway.
Can I ask you to do something?
Yes, you can.
Okay. So the lie was that people don't want to spend more time with me.
Yeah, people don't want to spend more time with me.
Okay, I don't want to think about that anymore.
Okay, anyway.
All right, we're like, no.
I was just trying to clarify.
Right. No, I asked. I don't want to hang there.
Okay. I do the same thing.
Okay, so what I want to ask you to do is I want you to close your eyes and think about when you have felt valued, and I want you to speak out the truth about that. I am valued. People do want to spend time with me. People do want to hear what I have to say. I am worthy.
I am seen. I am impactful. And I am a positive influence on not only myself, my family, and my close friends. Those that give back to me, I give back to them.
Can you even say it?
Say what? What am I supposed to say?
Can you say it?
Say what? Oh, I'm saying I'm saying the things. Okay. I'm just taking it in.
Right.
As you should.
It's good. No, from that place though, like when you do feel that, when that, even when it does shock you, can you take that in as the sponge? Do you remember when we talked about this?
Yes. I haven't thought about that in a while either.
Let it soak in and actually be part, not deflect it, not go, thanks, but.
Right. The thanks, but that's a thing. Yeah. Thanks, but.
I don't know if you explained it, Kim, or who I'd heard it from, but when we talked about the sponge theory and the thanks, but someone had put a little bug in my ear to say and instead, and I've practiced. It was you. I knew it was you. It's always.
No. I can't give credit for it. I have a friend who spoke about this, and I don't practice it well, but I do think about it, and it is a good practice.
And I have been practicing it, like, especially because I know I have to make that point to do it. So that's another thing too, is we can talk about this and give you guys all the tools that you can have, but unless you go do something, it's not going to change, And so we do have to remember that, like, taking the time to sponge it up and not deflect it, taking time to change that word or that mindset, or taking those few minutes of meditation. So really just think about that too when you guys listen to us and you're taking your notes, or, you're getting something out of this, that implementation is the next step, that we can help you and want the best for you. And same for our lives. We could want the best for ourselves and do whatever coaching, training we have, but unless we go implement it, nothing's going to change. And that's the whole point of this, is that we want to grow together. We want to unmask and we want to grow. And so just that right there was so vulnerable, just to be able to sit there on camera with everyone and show everyone that you can take in the comments and you can.
No, I will tell you anything.
Yeah. And that you'll believe it about yourself.
You just have to ask.
What's one of the moments where, what was it that you felt valued? Like, what were things going on in your mind, what you were thinking?
Specifically, people that popped into my head, where I really felt valued were my Mary Kay sisters.
Yes.
Like, sitting in our training room. Like, that was like the first picture that popped into my head, was us sitting in that room. And I say that room specifically because that's where I actually spend time with you. So, like, that's where my head was, because, like, that's where we all are together. And my husband. I remember this one time specifically, I was wondering, like, I started a blog a while back. I haven't done anything with it. Don't go look for it. But I was wondering if I should post something, and I read it out to him, and he said, if you have, what was it? If it's something that you have put enough energy into, if it's something like that you have thought about enough and considered, I'm paraphrasing here, but like how I understood it, and if you've thought about it enough where you thought it was valuable enough to put your energy into writing this out, then it's worth saying.
Wow.
That's so good.
That's very powerful.
So
the fact
that I thought it was worth putting my energy into meant that it was, like, good enough to put out.
Yeah.
And so that meant a lot to me, whether you know it or not, babe. That meant a lot to me. I still think about that.
That's going to change a lot of people, because we even talked about that at this conference this weekend we had. And they talked about social media and being authentic on social media and finding our authenticity. And there's so many times where I will spend an hour doing a reel or something, and then I'm like, is this going to be okay to put out there? Is this going to be okay to put out there? And I'm like, why am I questioning it? Like, I've spent this much time on it. I enjoy doing it. You got to do something, and I'm so glad that you took that from him to then share it with us, because that's powerful. I mean, who out here is thinking about starting a podcast, but they don't think they're going to be good enough? Who out here will spend hours?
I'm about to profess that. I was like, I'm definitely not good enough to have a podcast, and I'm still doing it.
Yeah, we're here. We're here.
Do we know what we're doing? No, really.
Yeah. How many times have you looked at an Instagram or a picture that you want to post on Instagram? And how many times did you edit it or look at it and pick apart every single thing to ask yourself if it's good enough to put out there? Who are we impressing? Who are we impressing? Like, honestly. And I have to remind myself about this too, but it goes past that. I do a lot of writing, and I think in my head, is this something someone else would want to read, or am I sharing too much? Like, and so then I took from the conference this weekend too. One of the girls, long story short, she shared her story about not being able to get pregnant, and then they ended up doing some things, and she had a miracle baby. It was so cute. And she's young too. She's in her 30s, I think. I don't know. I keep looking at Lorin because Lorin was with me this weekend. But so anyways, long story short, I saw her at the end of the conference, and I just got to say hi to her, meet her miracle baby. It was so cute. And I told her thank you. I was like, no, seriously, thank you for sharing that. That was very vulnerable. I'm sure it's hard to get to talk about that openly. And she was like, sometimes you just don't know what other people need to hear, and you're not going to know that someone else needs to hear it until you give it away. So thank you, Mitchell, for that advice, and thank you for sharing it with our beautiful friend so that she could share it with all of you and us. Look at that. Look at how we're all affecting each other.
Yeah, feels good.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel different after that?
I do.
That's good.
You're good.
You are good.
And you're valued. That's one that I like to hear a lot too.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Valued. People actually value spending time with me. And I'm actually, I'm worth spending time with.
You are. You're enough.
I'm enough. Boom. Take it or leave it, yo.
I do think it'd be fun, since we all know our Enneagrams, right?
Kinda.
Not today, but this can be another topic. I think we should definitely do some studying. Let us know in the comments if you guys are
into Enneagrams.
Yeah,
they're fun.
You know your Enneagram, if you'd like to know what an Enneagram is, yada yada, all the details. I've been studying this, and I would like to put more emphasis on studying it. So this would be a good excuse to do it, because it's very important to know who you are innately at your core. Mm-hmm. It's very important to know you. And then once you know you, it's going to be easier to then learn those around you. And if we're talking about it on a podcast, it's going to be a lot easier for people to learn it than doing what I'm trying to do, studying it. So. But I mean, you can find them anywhere. You can find it on Pinterest. You could take the quiz, but we could go over all that. But let us know if that'd be a topic you'd like to hear about too.
It's good.
Got any closing words for us, friend?
Oh, you are enough. You are enough. Know your worth. And if nobody else around you sees it, look at the Lord. I mean, you look at the Lord anyway. Like, that wasn't the secondary option. Like, him first.
That's so good.
Oh, my goodness. You are worth time.
That's good.
You are worth other people's time.
Thank you for sharing this time with us.
Thank you. So are you, Pam.
Thanks.
And so are you, Paige.
Thank you. You guys are worth everyone's time.
You fill my cup, girls.
Yes. And thank you guys, seriously, for being on with us. We know that your time is precious. And so, like she said, you're worth others' times. So we're making this worth your time, right? This all makes sense. Long story short, thank you for being on with us. Woo! Bye.
That's it for today. Thanks for listening. Keep up with us on this unmasking journey by joining us every Friday.
Like, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram. This episode is sponsored by Podcast Solutions and podcasttables.shop.
As always, we're glad you're here. See you next week.
Boom, done.